I just want to talk very fast here because I'm so paranoid that they're going to pull the plug on us here in the Rose Garden.
Welcome to today's cable news craziness, where we take a look at some of the craziness that takes place on cable news. 2 straight days, Chris Cuomo from CNN has made this list. Now he is comparing something he went through in a war zone where he was lost in the fog of war, didn't know what was going on, to what's happening with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, Chris Cuomo here is presumably telling the truth. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is lying. Here's Chris Cuomo from CNN attempting to cover for that lie like every other member of the media has done for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Roll it.
Quick story for you that goes to the heart of why going after AOC.
Do you have video? You don't have video of it, do you?
Of what?
Of the story you were talking about.
Well, yeah, there is video of it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to see it if you have
But
it.
I don't want to show you this. The story that I'm telling you about is when I got blown up in Iraq with my cameraman on this MP mission that we were with the military police in Ghazaliya, south of Baghdad. Here's my point. You go after AOC for her fear, saying it was illegitimate. She was in the adjacent building. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Right. She knew she was under attack. She was running. She heard people saying, where is she? Where is she? She didn't know who those people were. Exactly. Why am I using my experience? Because when we were on that patrol, and they stopped us by these bodies, and this captain was explaining to me that they're often weaponized, and people started firing at us, a lot of fire. They detonated the bodies. It blew over the Humvee in front of us. People were screaming. All this gunfire was all over the place. Don, I swear I thought I was a dead man.
Yeah.
I was haunted for weeks after that. I heard this screaming. I heard shouts of pain, gunfire. I couldn't move because of the position that we were in after the explosion. And I thought somebody was going to stick their weapon in the turret, circular fire, and was over. My cameraman, Bartley Price, and I were looking at each other, and we thought it was over, okay? We were wrong. The voices I heard were our troops communicating, killing the insurgents, calling in tank fire, and controlling the whole situation. But they couldn't talk to me because they were busy.
So how would you know it? It's the same with this. And here's the thing. First up, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad you
changed my life, I'm glad I'm here.
Now, look, we all understand the fog of war. We understand that completely. And what Chris Cuomo is talking about does actually happen. So there's no problem with what Chris Cuomo is saying here. However, there is a problem with what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is saying. And you know what? It's okay to call that out. It's okay to say what she's saying is not true. And she knows what she's saying isn't true. She was not in the Capitol when all this went down. The protesters never got... the rioters never got into her hallway. They were never banging on her door. They were never in her office. They were never there. What she said is untrue. Now, you can try to do what Snopes has done and some other liberal outlets have done and say, well, she wasn't in the Capitol, but she was in the Capitol complex. Nobody's disputing that. Nobody is saying that she was nowhere near there. And in fact, no one's saying she wasn't scared. What they're saying is her story is not true. It's not misremembered, as Cuomo's trying to say. It's not a mistake, as Cuomo's trying to say. It's not fog of war, as Cuomo is trying to say. It's not true. And it's okay to acknowledge when things are said by people you like, respect, and love, like Chris Cuomo feels for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's okay to say that they are not saying something that is true. It's okay to call out the people that you like. It is okay to be objective every now and then and say, look, this is not right. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should retract these statements and tell the truth about what happened there. Now, look, we all know why this happened. Look back on the situation with the Capitol police officer who lost his life on the scene. For weeks, we've been hearing about how that individual was beat to death with a fire extinguisher. I've said it right here on Cable News Craziness. I've talked about it. Turns out it's not true. They've known it not to be true this entire time. Yet, where were our dogged professionals in the journalism game to talk about that? They didn't exist. And now that it's come out, they're still not talking about it. And now this Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez story, where she was so in fear for her life, that she heard people banging on the door that weren't there. In the hallway, they weren't there. They were saying, where is she? And he even says that that's true, and she doesn't remember what they were asking for or whatever. He's implying that was the Capitol Police. The reality is this, her story isn't true. I think we all know that, and they're covering for absolutely no reason, except for the fact that she's a Democrat. I mean, I hate that it's that simple, but it really is that simple. If there were holes this size in a Republican story, the media would be all over it and forcing them to apologize and asking every other Republican, do you believe this story? Do you believe this story? Do you believe this story? Now, if you ask questions about it, you're a bad guy. You're attacking her. The reality is no one is attacking her. They are pointing out that her story was used in order to manipulate the American people. They made this as bad as they possibly could to tar their political opponents. That's all it's about. And Chris Cuomo willingly goes along with it. And that's why he's back on cable news craziness again. Like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment, and come on back tomorrow.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you.